Hello, Rough Rider Nation, and welcome to this edition of the Rider Report, the ins and outs of Yavapai College athletics. I'm Brad Clifford, the athletic director here at Yavapai College, and I'm joined again today, by head softball coach Doug Eastman. Welcome back to the program, Doug.
Thanks for having me, Brad.
We're good too. We're starting off the season here real shortly. We've had a couple practices under our belt. We had a long fall season. We had a break, which I know for softball coach, baseball coaches, the breaks are a little scary because you don't know what's going to happen. But now here we are. We're going to kick it off here on the next Friday, the 26th, against Salt Lake at 8 a.m. in the morning. All right, let's go back a little bit. What'd you think of the fall season?
Well, we had a lot of new bodies out there, Brad, and we kind of had to see what they could do. And I kind of saw a little bit of everything. I saw a team that could be very explosive and can get the job out there. And sometimes we got in our own way, with all the freshmen and the new parts of the team. But overall, I was very happy. I was able to see what we can do as a position players are involved. And then, I wanted to see what our freshman pitcher was all about. And, I was very excited to see her progression.
What are our expectations after going through a fall season, going into the preseason here? What are our expectations of this team?
Well, without sounding corny, my expectations is to win every game we play. And, and I think the girls know how I feel about that. We have all the pieces. We have the parts to be very successful. But it's one thing a coach can struggle a little bit. I'm not preparing them to play our first weekend. This is a process, and we did get practice on Monday, Tuesday. Today we're really not going to practice. We're just going to get in the weight room and lift, and then we will practice a couple more days, and then we'll get another lift on Sunday. So we're starting what it takes to get in a mode to be successful for a year long. I know we play in 7, 8, 9 days, and everybody's getting keyed up for that, and I think we'll play very well. But my approach right now is to get the team ready for the season.
Now, I was in the weight room this morning. I saw a few of your kids going in the weight room, doing their own personal workouts. Attitude's got to be pretty good with this team coming through. With what do we have? 8 sophomores, 8 freshmen.
Yeah, actually we have 8 sophomores, but one's a transfer. So we have 7 sophomores that played on the club last year, and then we have a bunch of freshmen that are going to be a huge part of this program, Brad. And we talk about the dynamic of what we have going on, but it's very likely in some games we'll have 7 out of 9 freshmen on the field. And we talk about our sophomores, and 4 out of the 7 returners from last year are actually the battery.
Right.
We got 2 pitchers, 2 catchers, and a first baseman and a couple of outfielders, and so the infield's going to be freshmen. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a little different.
Well, let's talk a little bit sophomores a little bit. You mentioned we got 4 of them in the battery. J.D. Borsaw was just recently named FPN Fast Pitch News preseason All-American.
Yeah, very neat.
We're expecting good things out of her. Obviously, Kiana coming back after an incredible freshman season on the mound. What else can we expect from our sophomores?
Well, and then you got Santana Parra, and she was fantastic in the fall. I think she's throwing the best that I've seen since she's been with us, and she just has that confidence, and I think that's where our strength is. When you look at Kiana, you look at Santana, you got 2 sophomores that are very comfortable in what they do. We have a fiery freshman coming in that wants to make her mark, and then our catching staff. We have 2 sophomores and a very eager freshman that has been fantastic for us back there. So I think that's the heart and soul right there. They'll never be overwhelmed in a game. And then you look at everything else. Kaylee Mabry. Here's a young lady that came on last season about halfway through and put up incredible numbers for as many opportunities that she received, and so I expect great things from her at the first base position, and you got Mariah out there in center field, and
had a good freshman year as
well
last year.
Just a solid ball player, knows how to play the game. Raylyn Rios had a fantastic year as a freshman, great power statistics out there.
All-American, returning All-American, NJCAA All-American.
There you go. So we have all those parts. And that's not even talking about the freshmen. And the freshman that we have is just amazing. But you're talking about a third baseman, shortstop, second base. they're all going to be new. It's a whole, it's almost all of the infield. And then you have a left fielder, a right fielder, and a center fielder that could even play in some games. It's a young team, but then we have just enough sophomores to keep the team very fluent.
You talk about junior college freshmen are going to have to play. Therefore, I guess a job of recruiter at junior college is crucial because you got to have freshmen that can come in and compete right away. You don't want to be too high sophomores and too low freshmen and vice versa. You want to have that good mix.
Yeah, and you want to bring in freshmen that are not afraid to compete right now, and I think we have that. And we talk about relaxation and getting into the mode to be able to play and don't make the game too big but a lot of that comes with preparation. You got to lift, you got to prepare, you got to be mechanically sound, and if you have all those things down, I think the nervousness goes away. It's all right to be a little anxious. Everybody should be hyped up for a game, but the nervousness needs to go away, and I think that's the key to having successful freshmen, to get them to relax and just play the game, and I think we'll do a good job.
Yeah,
of
that. You don't win games on emotion by any means. You got to control them and keep your composure.
Yeah, and it's a long season. Right?
Process, like you talked about.
It's a process. It's a process. So, if you drop a couple of games or whatever the case may be, you learn from that, you move on, and you keep trying to get better. And
you never won a national championship on the preseason rankings by any means.
Never have. Never have.
So we talked about the process a little bit. Let's talk about the season coming up. We open up with some great competition going to Henderson, obviously with Salt Lake City at 8 a.m. on Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Region 18 foes, Snow, Southern Idaho on that first weekend. And then on the 30th, we come back and we open up at South Mountain with conference right away. And South Mountain's no slouch, by the way.
No, and I think we get started with some tough competition. We come back, we play a couple league, and then we go on another tournament, which we haven't done in the past. So, when you think about it, 6, 4, that's 12 games in 8 days. Right. So the bodies will be a little sore, be a little bit taxed in the beginning, but the nervousness should be gone because we're really playing a bunch of games early on in the year. And you mentioned Salt Lake. You always have that challenge right off the bat because they're a team that runs very well. Right. They're fast. They play the short game, so your defense has to show up right away. So those are always little concerns that you have. I've already got in my mind, the starting lineup, who's going to throw that game. So I'm excited. I mean, I think this year more than any other year, I'm ready to go. I mean, this team has the capability of being outstanding, and it's our job to get them in that place.
Right. Get the coaching out of the way, maybe all right.
Yeah,
right?
we got to get out of the way.
Well, we open up at home on February 10th against Division I nemesis Pima Community College, so it doesn't get any easier. In this conference, it doesn't get any easier, especially Division I. We have a strong Division I conference here. Not to mention Division II with Phoenix College winning national championship. So it's a strong conference season we have.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you look at Pima; they have an outstanding freshman pitcher this year, and she's from New Mexico. She throws very, very hard. So it's going to be tough right off the bat with Pima. So, and then of course Central, they were very good last year, and Eastern's always very good, and Western's always got some surprises for you. So yeah, it's you don't get any days off. You try to tell the players. These freshmen don't understand that the competition that they're going to face on a daily basis is much different than what they've been facing in high school. So you got to get that mindset, but they're not going to find out until they actually get in there and get dirty and get after it. So
any team that comes out of the region goes to the national tournament, they're going to be tried and tested for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. With this kind of competition and being a coach from California, you have all those teams, but the problem with all those teams is a lot of them are diluted, and right. So you don't always face the tough competition. And before I took this job, they spoke about how tough this conference is, and they were right. It's very difficult, and you got to be ready to play every time.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, the Riders open up here in 2018 season on the 26th against Salt Lake. Then our home opener is against Pima on February 10th. So We really want the fans to come out and watch us play. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. We're looking to get to the national tournament once again and give it our best shot. So this concludes this edition of the Rider Report. Be sure to follow us on www.goroughriders.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and as well, we are going to be streaming those games with a brand new outfit this year. So hopefully we can get that thing going. We haven't been very successful with the streaming lately, but we're gonna get that going so the fans can watch at home. So as always, the Rough Rider Nation, go Rough Riders.
See you soon.